What's good, y'all? It's been a long time since I did anything. I want to sit up here and conversate about this bullying shit. It ain't got nothing to do with this sector, man. It got a lot to do with just our children and this bullying that's been going on for decades. And the reason why I'm coming with this this type of show is because it's been two separate incidents at my kids' school since the school shooting. Where what's going on, Mahogany? Yeah, I ain't been doing no show because I've been real busy, and you know, there's been a lot of stuff going on in this sector that I don't really mess around with. But what I'm about to talk about is this bullying that's going on. But like I said, it's been two different incidents before, after. Hold on. Give me a second, y'all. My daughter wants me. Give me a second. All right, y'all. I'm back. Dan, what's good, my brother? I just be fucking around with the game shit, man. You know, I play it every once in a while, but I was just fucking around. But yeah, it's been two incidents since the school shooting that took the lives of some kids and adults at that school. And here in Ohio, the first incident was my son at his high school. A kid was walking down the hall with a 12 gauge shotgun looking for the individuals that was bothering him, you know, basically teasing him and, you know, making him feel uncomfortable. So he decided to bring a 12 gauge sawed-off to school to kill these individuals. And Babs was popping, blah was popping. And just yesterday, before my daughter went to sleep, she came to me and she was like, "Dad, I'm not going back to school." And you know, me being the father that I am, I want to know why you feel that way. You know what I'm saying? Like you're not saying stop going to school. That's just not going to happen around me. And she told me that a guy in her a 16-year-old kid in her seventh period said he's going to come to school and shoot up the school tomorrow. So I was asking, like, you know, why didn't anybody speak about this during school so they could take care of that situation? And she said that a lot of parents was calling after school to let them know what their children were saying, that this individual said that he's going to shoot up the school tomorrow. So tomorrow is today, and me, myself, and her mother took her and my other daughter to school to discuss this with the principal. They end up catching I'm not gonna say they end up catching them. They actually went to his house and arrested the 16-year-old boy for stating that he was gonna shoot up the school, which he told the truth. He said, yeah, he was gonna shoot up the school, and he didn't know why he said it. So once I got out of class, I asked my daughter and her mom, was like, you know, what's up with that situation? Because that's a serious situation. You know what I'm saying? You can't take those things lightly. And they gave this young man 5 days suspension. That's not gonna happen with me. That's not gonna happen with me. I am getting up in the morning again, and I'm going to that school, and I'm going to address this situation because how can you give a person that said, a student that said M City was popping, a student that said that they're going to shoot a school 5 days suspension? Now, if I was a kid going to that school, I wouldn't want to go back to school. I go to school for those 5 days he gone, and I won't come back. When he comes back, I won't come back because I'll be fearing for my life. I wouldn't know what he will be on. And then they got to understand they gave him 5 days suspension, but you got to understand how he's thinking now. Is he upset because y'all suspended him? You know what I'm saying? But it's to a point where we have to start teaching our kids about being bullied or being the bully. And it's different types of bullying. It's just, when people say bully, they think about physical, actually beating somebody up and continue to harm them. No, it's way more different types of bullying. Verbal, you know what I'm saying? And I feel sorry for the young guy that felt that he need to kill somebody or shoot up a school because of a certain person bothering him. You know what I'm saying? So I don't look at it as I hate that kid or I dislike that kid. And I don't want my kids to dislike the kid. I want my kids to understand the reason why he's feeling the way he's feeling. And I'm just gonna go over a little shit of bullying, just the meaning of it and shit like that. But it's defined as mean, hurtful. It's a hurtful behavior that is repeated. It's repeatedly done. It could be in a relationship. When a relationship is imbalanced, it can happen in a relationship. For one person can have power over the next. Um, you also got cyberbullying. You know, although schools do more to deal with it, the parents got to really be in tune with it. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to teach my kids right now about the verbal part. You know what I'm saying? Just because a kid is unfortunate not to have clothing, shoes, or not be popular, or not have the looks, that doesn't give you the reason to bother them, the reason to be mean to them. You know what I'm saying? The reason to verbally abuse this person, because you gotta understand you're not the only person verbally abusing this person, and that breaks down their self-esteem to make them feel that everybody hates them, and then the only outcome they feel that is good, that will make them feel good, is to kill or hurt somebody because they're so much in pain and being hurt. So verbal, what I'm telling my kids about being verbal, a verbal bully, is using cruel spoken words, just being mean to them, um, the ongoing name calling, threatening, disrespectful comments. It can be about their religion, a disability, their sexual orientation. It can be about anything. You know what I'm saying? Like a kid can go to another kid and say, you're fat and your mama fat. You know what I'm saying? Everybody loves their parents, you know what I'm saying, at some point in their life, and if you do that, that can break a person down. What's poppin', Kimmy? Let's see. I'm gonna keep it going though, but I'm I'm trying to read the comment section too. But so how do we how as parents, us as parents, how do we spot these signs if our child is a bully or is our child being a bully? Bab said my kid's not allowed on social media, period. Um, Social media is a big thing about it, but it's more of we have to look at the physical form right now. You know what I'm saying? As far as the school shooting, and I'm gonna get deeper and deeper into this, but how do we spot the signs of either our child being a bully or being bullied? Sometimes our child may withdraw, become moody. They might show a change in their appetite. You might say, "Hey, I fixed your favorite dish today," and they might not even want it. That might seem strange to you because if they eat your favorite dish all the time and then they don't want to eat it, the only thing you can think of is maybe they're not hungry or something like that. But if they just came home from school, 9 times out of 10 they're hungry. But if they show change in appetite, that may be a sign. Uh, they may tell you something hurtful that someone said about them and ask you if you think it's true. So when you see those signs, what do you do? First of all, you teach your kids about respect. That's the first thing you do. You teach them about respect. Mahogany said, withdrawal from the family and regular actions, conversation of looks and attitude change. That's what I would look for or notice. Withdrawal. Kimmy said, yes, it's very important to monitor his child behavior activities. And I think that's one big reason this millennium of kids is so bad. You know what I'm saying? Because it starts from home. We have to do, as parents, we have to pay more attention to our children than anybody else. Because once we start slacking and somebody else pay attention to our kids and they start, you know, being influenced by that someone else, and then you find out they're being influenced by someone else because of their actions now, then you're upset at them, but you can't be upset at nobody but yourself because you are the parent. You're supposed to see these signs and be able to conquer those signs with them. But we go as we continue. Everybody deserves to be treated well and be treated with respect. But most of the times, 9 times out of 10, it doesn't go that way. It's different now. The times has changed. Best protection we can offer is to foster our child in their confidence and their independency. Most kids don't have that independency like they won't get that independency. Sometimes as parents, we give them too much independency. What's popping, Cocoa Butter? What's good, Queen? So we have to give them that independency, but we also have to understand that we still need to monitor their every move, because if we give them any type of inch of independency where we're not paying attention, then that gives them more and more reasons to be how can I say it, curious. Was by peer pressure in society because of social group. Yes, because I remember growing up, and I remember growing up where we wasn't put in a category as a child. You know what I'm saying? Everybody, was friendly. Only had everybody. You know what I'm saying? You didn't have 4 and 5, 6 and 7. So you didn't want to go somewhere. So yeah, that's a good point. What is physical bullying? Bullying. You know what I'm saying? It's a great intimidation. It involves the repeating of kicking, hitting, tripping, blocking, pushing, touching when unwanted, inappropriate ways. You know what I'm saying? So, or missing. They might have bruises, scratches, unexplainable cuts. You know what I'm saying? So when your child is being physical, being abused physically, you got to start a casual conversation with them, asking what's going on in school, during lunch, recess, on the way home. It's certain ways that you can figure things out about your children, man. And it's not only at school. Bab said I do 90 days for my kids. You put them on that 90 days, huh? No, no, it's not only at school. It's even at home. You know what I'm saying? It could be a relative that's a bully. You know, so we have to figure these signs out, because the reason why I put this as reason why this title was called Bully is because we have to understand it, and not only understand it, start stepping up and doing things about it. Because I'm not only looking at my children, I'm looking at the person that wants to kill and shoot up schools. You know what I'm saying? At some point, they have been bullied to the point where they don't even love themselves anymore. You know what I'm saying? And it don't even have to be kids at the school. It can be they have been abused at home to the point where they feel unloved at home, and then they get to school and they feel unloved at school because somebody's putting them in that predicament, in that unwanting spot. Cocoa Butter said my oldest son was bullied in public school, so I pulled him out and put him in a private setting. Now that might, Cocoa Butter, that might have been the best way you felt that will remove him out of that situation. But I feel like no matter where we go, something might happen. You know what I'm saying? He said the principal and staff was no help. 9 times out of 10, the principals and the staff is just there to get a check. You only get certain ones that's really there for those children. But I feel for the kids that get put in that predicament to where they really don't want to hurt no one, but that they feel like that's the only way they will get any type of comfort or feel love as somebody else is being hurt like they're being hurt. So we have to understand how to catch these signs and what to do when we see it. Now, what's the name brought up cyberbullying? You know what I'm saying? Cyberspace. You know, that's something that happened in this sector all the time. You know, but by us being adults, you know, some can take it and some can't. But cyberbullying is someone, it's the haggling of someone by spreading mean words, lies, false rumors through emails, texts, social media posts. It could be sexist, it could be racist, it could be homophobic messages, just creating a hostile atmosphere for you. What's Papa Duran? Coco Butter said I did everything I could, but fortunately he's doing very well for himself. Yeah, like I mean, us as parents got to get them that confidence that they have us on their side at all times. That gives them the confidence to be able to face the bully. You know, to be able to know that it's all right to fight back. You know, it's all right to tell an adult when someone's harming you or doing something to you. It doesn't make you weak or anything like that. It makes you smart because you never know where it can take you. With me speaking all this about being bullied or being the bully, you know, is there anybody in the chat room that have been a bully or been bullied before? And if so, how did you handle it? You know, if you were being bullied, how did you handle it? And if you were the bully, why were you a bully? Why did you feel you needed to be a bully? Those are questions that I want to know from individuals that's listening right now. Bab said, I teach my kids how I was taught somebody hit you, hit back. Yeah, if someone physically harm you, you're supposed to protect yourself. That's common sense. That's common ways that people was raised up. Coco Butter said the same kid who bullied him are either on drugs, dead, or in jail. Luckily, he has a father who looked out for him. Bab said, I've been bullied, but it in turn bullied them back. In time, you bullied them back? Well, I look at it like you know, at some point in your life, like I wouldn't say I was bullied when I was young, but I did have a couple guys that didn't like me, and I didn't like them because they didn't like me. They continued to bother me, but it never got physical. He'll bother me every time he see me, but I think that he knew I would fight back, so he never would get physical. He was more verbal than physical. But with this title comes to me speaking about the school shootings because that's what it's leading to. Um, for the last month, almost a month here in Ohio, 3 students has been arrested for saying they're going to shoot the school up. One of them didn't even get a chance to go to school. One of the young kids during the school shooting that happened that took the lives of 17 people, he went on. He took it upon himself to get on Facebook and say, "Oh, he only killed 17 people. I could have did better than that." And guess what happened? He got that knock on the door, and they came in and they arrested him. And his mother was saying she didn't understand why did they arrest him. Her son is not like that. Yada yada yada. And I don't believe that. If your son can get on there and say he only killed 17 people, I could have did better than that. It's something that you're not doing as a parent. It's something that you're not doing as a parent to know or not to understand what the fuck is going on. So, big shouts out to OT82, Chris. I see you. But yeah, so I'm gonna talk about the actual school shooting that happened that took 17 lives. I didn't hear too many people talk about it, but I'm gonna talk about it. I'm gonna talk about it. 17 different shootings since this year. Each one of them had. Each one of them was with an AR-15. Let's put it like that. 18 different shootings. Well, I ain't gonna say each one of them was a shooting. 18 different incidents. And all of them was with an AR-15. Somebody had an AR-15 when they want to do these school shootings. Now, these are the questions that comes up that's going to be controversial, but I don't give a damn because it needs to be talked about. Why are these school shootings, or why do these school shootings never happen in the urban community? Let's just say the hoods. Let's keep it street. Why don't never happen in the hood? That's the first question. The second question is, when these school shootings happen, why is it always a white kid? That's the second one. That's the second question. The third one is, what would happen if it was the other way around and it was a black child that did these school shootings? What do y'all think that will be? What would his outcome be? Do y'all think they would handcuff him, go feed him, put him in a car nicely, take him down to the county, and when he do his mug shot, he still look the same? Because every last one of these school shootings that happen with these white individuals, white students, each one of them look the same when they do their mug shot. Not only that, they always state that they're mentally ill. Now, no, I'm not racist or anything like that. I'm stating these fucking facts. Of course, Cocoa Butter, they will be dead or they will be beaten half to fucking death. V-Dub, they do happen. They do happen. But 9 times out of 10, when a school shooting happened at a hood school or anything like that, it's from gang violence or something like that, but they're not targeting everybody. They're targeting that main person that they having problems with. You know what I'm saying? So it's a big difference unless you got just a dumb motherfucker just start shooting and innocent bystanders get hit. That's different from a motherfucker just going there and I'm killing everybody that I see. That's a big difference. But it's just our world, we all know our world is fucked up. We all know that. But my point of this whole thing is to let parents know that we need to see the signs when our kids are being bullied or being the bully, because it's not right. It's not right. And M City, you hit it on the nail. Others do suffer. They shoot at innocent bystanders. You know what I'm saying? And you never know when it's your time. You know what I'm saying? You never know when your kid walk out that door in the morning to go to school if they're going to come home. And it's just the same as you walking out the door and your kid not knowing that you're coming home, because anything can happen. So let's think about the reason why it happened. 9 times out of 10, do y'all think it's drugs? OT82, yeah, it's double standards. It's gonna always be double standards. V Dub said we don't have many mass school shootings. No, we don't. We don't. Cocoa Butter said it's the same for the drug epidemic. Exactly. Exactly. You know, drugs got a lot to do with a lot of things. You know what I'm saying? Because the media, television, internet, all that is showing our kids to be something that they aren't supposed to be. V Dub said white kids will now have to walk through them detectors like I did. Exactly, V Dub. Exactly. Why do not have metal detectors in school no more? Period. OT82 said I watched the Black Panther movie in fear of the mayonnaise militant bigots shooting up the theater. Well, I heard a couple people saying that they didn't want to go see it on the actual day because they felt that something like that would happen. But one thing I like to tell people is don't never live in fear. We never know when it's our time, you know what I'm saying? But don't never be afraid to live, because at some point in our life, we're going to die. We don't know when. It might be from natural causes, it might not. But don't never live in fear of living your life. Yeah, drugs are the problem, V Dub. Drugs are the problem. I just I don't know, man. It's just that right there really when my daughter came to me and told me that, that really opened my mind as a parent. Is like, am I doing what I'm supposed to do as a parent? Which I know I'm doing what I'm supposed to do as a parent, but am I doing enough? You know what I'm saying? Because I don't want my kids to live in fear, and I'm sure not gonna live in fear. And those situations, some kids don't know how to pay attention to their surroundings, man. You know what I'm saying? They don't see the signs. You know what I'm saying? Like they live it so freely, like things like this won't happen. You know what I'm saying? And it will happen. You know, and when it happened, I want my kids to know what to do in that situation. You know what I'm saying? Know when to see the sign. Like know when you know some danger about to happen, and know that you need to get far away from it. You need to see the signs before it happens, so you can get far away as possible before it happens. Or go to the nearest adult and say, hey, I think something's going on with this person. OT82 said, I watched that shit on the edge of my seat. Yes, sis, they call me nigger, and I call them mayonnaise militant. Even the score. Cocoa Butter says sometimes you can do the best you can, D-Lo, but things will still go left. Yes, what I'm saying is we all know that things will go left. We know that. But what I'm saying is pay a little bit more attention. You know what I'm saying? Like before I started this show, like in the beginning of the show, you know, my daughter came, knocked on the door, and she just wanted to say hi to me because when she got home, I was in school and she was out of school, so she wanted to say hi to me. You know what I'm saying? And I already, you know, started the show, so I told her, you know, once I get done with the show, I'm gonna go in her room and I'm gonna sit down. I'm gonna have 20-30 minute conversation with her. You know, say so. It's so much going on when it comes to children, and we have to figure out what we can do to make things better for them. Bab said, just found out today my cousin overdosed. I'm sorry to hear that, Babs. I send my condolences to you and the family. That's a sad thing. Um, you know, what really made me think about this stuff is I um I love children, period. You know what I'm saying? Minds are not minds, you know what I'm saying? Because they are our future. You know, and if we do what we supposed to do as older people, as real models, you know what I'm saying, and try to help them have a vision, then I think a lot of things can go a lot better. You know what I'm saying? Not saying that um, we can change everything at once. It takes time. But when Bab said that, it hit home because I had a child that I fostered um, 3 years ago. I think it was 2.5, 3 years ago. And when this child came to my home, she was very violent. Um, she wasn't friendly at all. But I seen something different in her. You know, I know that she had that friendly bone in her body because everybody got a friendly bone in their body. But she was very violent and unfriendly, and she always wanted to be the main attraction. And you know, I had heard from my children that she ended up dying. You know, and that hurt. That hurt me, even though she wasn't in my home anymore, and she was able to go back home to her parents and everything. You know, we had made a big impact in her life, far as her being physical, her doing good in school. So she went from a stable home to where it had a woman figure and a father figure, a mother figure and a father figure in a home, to back to an unstable home. So she had stability, and then she went back to no stability. And it hurt me to hear that she passed, man. You know, she took her own life. You know what I'm saying? And it hurt me a lot because I felt that I could have helped her. You know, I didn't even want her to go back to her parents. You know what I'm saying? Like when you dealing with children like I deal with children, you know, and it comes to a point where you know these kids deserve to be loved, and when they come in your home, you know they don't see that, you know, and they don't get a chance to be independent because they're in a system to the point where someone is always looking over their back or always saying that they're doing something wrong. And when they continue to hear that, that's the only way they're gonna react. You know, but when they come in my home, I give them independency. I don't beat over their back. You know, I let them feel that they can do things on their own without have to have somebody over their back all the time. You know, and us as adults have to understand this. Do you like to go to work and every time you look around, you see your boss looking at you or hovering over you, trying to see if you're doing something, if you're trying to steal, or if you're doing your job right? No, you don't like that. So I take that and put it into this child don't like to be hovered over all the time. You know what I'm saying? So it's all about peeping out things. You know what I'm saying? It's all about peeping out things. You know, Jalen, what's popping? What's popping? Bam said my friend's 9-year-old child took their life due to bullying. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like it's so hard to fathom this, man. And if you're a person that genuinely love kids, like I love kids, you know, I look at life totally different ever since I lost my mama. You know what I'm saying? Like what I mean by that is, you know, before my mom passed, you know, I used to hear people pass away and this and that. I'm like, oh, for real, and then just blow it off. You know what I'm saying? It was just blown off. You know what I'm saying? But you know, it only affects you when someone real close to you pass. Then you understand the difference between life and death. You know what I'm saying? And what I mean by that is, once my mom passed, it took me to a whole different world. And now when people say, oh, such and such passed, or I hear somebody has passed or died, it takes effect on me because I know how they feel. I know what pain they feel. And I know what they're going to go through after the fact. Day after day, I know what they're going to go through. And I be wondering if they're strong enough to get through it. You know what I'm saying? So I take it totally different than how I used to now. You know what I'm saying? They always say death comes in threes, you know, and that was true because right after my mom passed, you know, almost 6 months to a year, 6 months to almost a year later, my cousin passed. And then right after that, my uncle passed. You know, and all three of these individuals was super close to me. I talked to them every day, you know, always was around them, you know what I'm saying? So I lost three so quick that killed me, you know what I'm saying? But I had to find it within myself not to fall into the fact of I hate everybody. I didn't want no help from nobody, you know, so I had to gather myself, you know. So when I see people being bullied, or even if my child is a bully, I don't condone that. I don't like that shit. You know what I'm saying? So I always try to do something in my power to not only help my kids but help other kids. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm gonna tell you one thing that my son did that surprised the hell out of me. I knew he had it in him, but it surprised me and made me, you know, understand what type of man he's going to be when he grow up. He was at school last year, springtime, and it's this kid that Black Caesar was popping. It's this kid that Jalen, you're right, adults get bullied too. Um, it was this kid that was being bullied, and they was just talking about him, about his shoes, his clothes, you know, and they was doing this every day, every day, every day. And my son used to witness it every day. And I had brought my son the Jordan six rings. He wore them like 2 times. They was brand new. Wore them like 2 times. You know what I'm saying? They had just came out. And I ended up talking to his mother or whatever, and she was like, I'm gonna let your son tell you what he did today. So I thought he had done something bad, you know what I'm saying, with school or whatever. So he got on the phone and he was like, yeah, Dad. He was like, I know you're probably gonna be mad. You just brought me these Jordans. He said, but the kid at my school was being bullied and they was always talking about his shoes. So I asked him what size he wore, and he wore the same size as me. So I gave him my Jordan 6 rings. You know, and in the beginning I was pissed, like, God damn it, what the fuck you get them shoes away? I just brought them motherfuckers for you. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, you know, I felt it. You know, he felt that kid's pain. You know what I'm saying? So he took it upon himself the next day to take those shoes to school and give it to that young man. And I told him what he did right there, that young man will never forget, ever forget. And if it ever comes to a point where he get right, he's going to repay you. You know what I'm saying? And you're going to get your blessing. You know, so that's something that that right there let me know what type of man my son's going to be when he grows up. You know what I'm saying? And I commend him for that. And I went and brought him another pair of Jordans. You know, I replaced them. You know what I'm saying? But I told him, you know, you always keep that type of love in your heart, because a lot of people don't know how to love no more and help out. You know what I'm saying? It's not about you might not get that back because it's materialistic. Materialistic things you can't take with you. You know, you're always going to be able to get materialistic things back. So I was just giving him a little, you know, father-son talk about real life. You know what I'm saying? But I told him I love him for that and I appreciate him. And, you know, the adults that seen him do that appreciate him. And that kid really do appreciate him. But yeah, man, we got to do better as parents, man, and understand this bully shit is really, it's the forefront of everything and the reason why things happen, but it be pushed under the rug. A lot of stuff is being pushed under the rug that that's a real big problem that be pushed under the rug that make it seem like it's a small problem. But yeah, man, you know, it even happens in this sector, man, where it's bullying going. People get bullied, you know what I'm saying? But by us being adults, we know how to handle certain situations. You know, and then when we have a show like this, it don't be too many people that want to participate because they want to hear the fuckery. But all in all, this is fuckery. Being bullied is fuckery. You know what I'm saying? It's just to a point where the same way you have been bullied or being a bully, you got to understand why are you a bully or why you are being bullied. So it's just, I want to bring something real that we can talk about right now, man, because that shit fucked me up when my daughter told me that this kid said he was gonna shoot up the school. And that was right after a kid actually was in my son's school with a gun, looking for the guys to kill. Yeah, mahogany, shows like this are needed because it happens around us every day. You know what I'm saying? Just because we live in the comfort of our home and our kids are safe doesn't mean that somebody else's kids is not safe. You know what I'm saying? It could be a sister, a brother, a cousin, an auntie, a friend of a friend. Somebody's child is being bullied or being a bully, and that shit got the deceased, man. Because you got to look at it like this. Let's say that you don't know your kid is being a bully, and they've been bullying this child or this person for months after months after months after months, and then they decide to kill your child or hurt your child to the point where they're in the hospital, this and that. Now you, as a parent, is pissed. You're furious. You want to hurt this child. You want to hurt their parents. You want to understand what went wrong, and then you find out, hey, it was your child that was being a bully, and my kid just took up for herself and hurt him. Now you like, damn, I didn't even know this. You know what I'm saying? It's because you wasn't paying attention to the signs or you wasn't communicating with your child the way you're supposed to. Jayla said you got kids trained in MMA or Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. That shit don't mean nothing. Because you got some kids that train boxing, MMA, whatever, and they don't get the discipline. They feel like, oh, I'm trained to fuck somebody up, so I'm just going to use it without discipline. You know what I'm saying? I'm just going to use it just to show a motherfucker that I can hurt somebody. So it depends on the mind state of the child that's doing those trainings for MMA and boxing and things like that. Babs said, y'all be easy. Got to put babies to bed. Much love. All right, big shots out for coming to the show, Babs. And that little music in the background, man, it's this mix that I'm making for this guy, man. He's about to turn 50 at the end of this year, and I'm DJing for his party. So I'm just listening to the mix on a low tempo to see what other stuff I got to put in it, what I got to tweak for as treble, bass, mid, and I do that from I'm starting back to DJing, so this gonna be my little hustle on the side, DJing, you know what I'm saying? Going back to DJing. So this mix that I done for him right now, I got 2 hours and 30 minutes done, but he want 4 hours, but I'm gonna basically leave it as this 2 hours and 30 minutes, and then I'm gonna freestyle the rest at his party. So I just waiting on him to give me a call to come and get this stuff or whatever. But yeah, man, this right here, man, our world is full of bullies. And you got alpha males and then you got omega males. You know what I'm saying? And it just comes to a point where we gotta look at it like this. I have a sister that has 4 boys. She has 4 boys. And as an uncle, I look at my nephews and how they're growing up. Is their father in their life? Is their father even trying to do anything with them? And when I see that their father is not in their life and they're not trying to do anything with them, they might buy them something every once in a while, but they're not in their life physically, don't have conversations with them. Me as an uncle, as my sister, brother, I step in and do that. I sit there and have conversations with them. I discipline them. And men and family need to understand and know that needs to be done, because they need that stability. A woman can raise a young boy, but she cannot show him how to be a man. She cannot show him how to be a king. So as an uncle, you have to step up and do that. Even though that you got your own family, at some point something got to click in your mind like, okay, my nephew is out of hand. Maybe he's being aggressive with his mother. Maybe he don't want to go to school. He don't want to listen. As an uncle, you step up and you go over there and you discipline him and let him know, hey, this is my goddamn sister. It's your mother, but this is my sister. You're not going to try to physically harm her or do anything. You're going to listen to her. You're going to do what you got to do. You got to have those talks with your nephews, your son, things like that. Even they friends, even they got friends over. When my son have friends over and I'm able to visit him and he got friends over, I go sit there and talk to them. You know what I'm saying? I try to sit and talk to my daughters as much as I talk to my sons. Let my daughters know, put them in a perspective or a mind frame that when you get older, you're going to have guys to try to trick you and say, hey, I'm going to buy you this. I'm going to do. No, you can tell them, hey, my daddy will buy me that. You know what I'm saying? My daddy can give me that. You got to come better than that. You know what I'm saying? Just let them know how they supposed to be treated and how they supposed to treat others. You know what I'm saying? So that bully shit is just, it's going to happen, but we got to figure out ways to try to ease it down, because people got to understand this. There's so much thing that's going on in this world that we can't change everything all at once. We take one thing and we all collide together and tackle that one thing to try to make a little change. D-Lo, you got teen thugs. Yeah, you got teen thugs. See, Jalen, you missing the point what I'm saying. I know that it's teen thugs and, who the fuck is James Gordon? What's popping? No, what I'm saying is you got good apples and you got bad apples. I'm not talking about changing the bad apples. Most of the bad apples is they can be changed, but they stuck in their ways. You got some of these teen thugs that will see an adult and want to fight an adult, and then when they get their ass whooped, you know what I'm saying? Everybody say, "Oh, he was fighting a kid." No, that fucking kid need to stay in the kid place and understand who the fuck he fucking with. That it's just it's a lot of things that could be tackled, but how many adults in this chat room right now would let a child disrespect them to the point where they say they gonna put their hands on you and they actually trying to put their hands on you and you don't react? How many will sit there and let that happen? Not none. I'm quite sure 0% that will let that happen. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I try to tell individuals, get your kids, man. Get your kids. Because you got some adults, that's one of their pet peeves. They do not like a kid to disrespect them. They be down and ready to kill that kid. If not, kill them. You know what I'm saying? I know everybody's seen the video surfing the internet a couple years ago where the bus driver uppercutted that female, and everybody like, oh, that's a female, that's a female. That's the same female that spit on this grown man, that swung on this grown man, that disrespected this grown man, and she had to be dealt with. That's how it happened. It's just that goes all the way back to the point of respect. Respect me and I respect you. You got to give somebody some type of respect. And even if you don't respect each other and y'all conversate, you know what I'm saying, somewhere in that conversation is going to be a respect level. It's going to be a respect level. Sometimes it goes to a point where it comes to a point where some people just don't understand, and you just got to break the skin on their ass to make them understand. Yeah, OT82, you going to jail now? Yeah, that one. You know what I'm saying? It's just the black community, period, man. It's a lot of problems in it, and when it comes to speaking about it, it's so controversial that people don't want to speak about it wholeheartedly. You know what I'm saying? They don't want to speak about it wholeheartedly. They might speak a little bit on it, but it might come to a point where they want to say something, but they're afraid to say it. Our greatest weapon is our voice. Speak your mind, you know what I'm saying? Because you can learn something from somebody and somebody can learn something from you, but you got to be willing to. You know what I'm saying? And it's a lot of times where you got some individual that feel like they know more than you and they don't need to listen to you. Jalen said, D-Lo, dudes don't fight no more. They pull out a gun and shoot you and kill you. Those are the cowards, Jalen. Those are the ones that don't know how to fight. Those are the ones that don't know how to communicate. Those are the ones that don't know how to take losses. Those are the people that pull out guns and shoot and kill because they feel like, oh, I'm a real nigga if I do that. But then they go to prison and they around real lifers, the people that really do that shit. And guess what? They ain't nothing like they was on the street. Nothing. So being a real nigga, showing this the crazy thing. I'm gonna show you I'm a real nigga. I'm gonna kill somebody. I'm gonna go to prison where there are more real niggas, and I'm gonna live the rest of my life around real niggas. I got a room, sharing a room with another guy. I smell his shit. He smell my shit. You know what I'm saying? We drink the same fucking water. I see that. I hear motherfuckers get raped all night. I see fights all night. I see gambling, but I'm around niggas all my life. You think that's a way to live? Nah. You think you want to jeopardize that to show another motherfucker that you real? Now don't get me wrong. I've been in the streets. I've been in shootouts. I've been in fights. I done sold drugs. I done all that. But when I had my first child, I stopped all that shit. It's a difference of being in the streets and knowing how to get the fuck out of it. You're gonna always have that street cred. You know, you're gonna always have people that respect you, that knew what you was about. But people respect you more when they know what you was about and see you change, because guess what? They see it's change. They see that it's a possibility that you can change and get out of it. So it's a big difference, man. It's a big difference when you talk about stuff like this, man. But man, I don't know, man. That just took me right there, man. Like, to hear both of my kids have to experience that, something that they never experienced before, experience harm at school. So the big question is, when are our kids really safe? Because they're not safe when it comes to the cops. They're not safe when they get to school. So the only place they can be safe is at home. Yeah, it's about being an adult, man. It's at some point in your life you got to know that change is gonna come. Change is gonna happen. We our whole life revolves around time. No matter what we do, we wake up at a certain time, we go to sleep at a certain time, we go to work at a certain time, we chill at a certain time. You know what I'm saying? We clock out for lunch at a certain time. Our life is revolved around time. Our life is revolved around change. We got 4 seasons: summer, winter, spring, fall. It changes. You don't wear the same underclothes every day, do you? Well, some people do, but at some point in their life, they need to change those fucking underclothes. You know what I'm saying? So you got to understand that time waits for no one, but it's always time to change. You know, some people don't have the mind frame to change. You got some people that live in the same state, the same city for their whole entire life and never change. They so comfortable of doing the same thing over and over and over and over. and never change. They see everybody else changing or progressing, and they're never progressing. They're progressing a little bit, but they're never getting higher than a person they might dislike or a person they cool with. And then that's where the hatred comes from. And the only thing they have to understand is don't hate the person that's progressing because they found out that it's changed and changed. Hate yourself because you're not changing. That's the reason why they're taking steps ahead of you because you're not changing. You know what I'm saying? So I always take myself the time to wake up and look at myself in the mirror and judge myself before I judge anybody. When you wake up in the morning and you before you leave out that house and you eventually gonna spend some time in the mirror, look at that person in the mirror and judge that person. Of course, I seen that story too, Jalen. But guess what? I really don't like doing too many shows talking about somebody being killed over something because it's going to happen. It's going to happen. How many times we gonna continue to talk about it, talk about it, talk about it, talk about it? It's going to happen. It's going to happen. We got a weird, crazy, out of sync fucking world. That's what we got. That's what we live in. This is not the land of the free, the home of the brave. All that shit that they put in your head when you're young, that pledge of allegiance and all that shit, standing up with your hand on your heart and standing up looking at the flag every fucking morning in school, saying the pledge of allegiance and all that shit means nothing. This is not land of the free, home of the brave. No. When we got foreign people come over here and they live better than us. So it's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes I think, what if it was just universal law where motherfuckers just can go in a fucking store, grab them a bag of chips and pop because they're hungry and walk the fuck out of that bitch without paying and nothing happens. But it's not. It's man-made laws. If you go do that shit, you're going to jail. So it's a lot of shit that we could talk about and debate about. You know what I'm saying? But that'll be on that'll be on another show. But yeah, man. I don't know how long this been, but I'm about to. I just got home and that shit was touching my brain, and I felt that I needed to talk about it for a second. Um, I don't know when the next time I'm gonna be able to do a show or something like that, man. But I really don't be on YouTube like that no more. I just go in people's chat room now. But when it's a situation like this, I might do a show. But I'm hungry as hell, man. I'm about to go give me some Chipotle or something. But y'all stay up, be easy, man. I appreciate y'all coming to the show, showing some love. Remember, when you wake up in the morning, look at the person in the mirror, judge that person. Jalen, I might do a show, man, and have you come on, man, so we can talk about these little situations that you study putting in the chat room. You know, like dudes don't fight no more; they pull guns and shoot. Woman losing a life over income taxes. You know, adults being bullied. You know what I'm saying? I like talking about shit like this. You know what I'm saying? So I don't have a problem putting nobody on the panel that want to be on the panel. You know, you gonna like I said, you're gonna get people that want to hear stories like this or shows like this, and then you're gonna get people who don't. You don't get the thumbs up, you're gonna get the thumbs down. So it's just it is what it is, man. But all y'all stay up, man. It's a Thursday. You know, tomorrow Friday. Don't think about what you're gonna do for the rest of the day. Think about what you're gonna do tomorrow. Think about the future. Keep your mind futuristic, man. You know what I'm saying? And y'all enjoy yourself, kings and queens. I'm up out this motherfucker.